Here's an explanation of number 8 on this homework, which was translations and reflections. Let's analyze this function first. K of x equals negative x minus 2 cubed. That's a cubic function. So that's in the form of f of x equals x cubed. And of the two transformations that have happened here, we have, let's see, that negative on the outside means it's a reflection over the x-axis. And then this minus 2 inside the function means it has been translated 2 to the right. So here's kind of my side work. Before I even put it on the graph, I go through these pieces and I think out loud the cubic function. I know that it has an appearance kind of like this. I know those points are 1, 1, negative 1, negative 1. I'm going to reflect it over the x-axis, so I'm going to draw another little graph here that has this thing flipping over the x-axis. It's going to look like this. And then taking 2 to the right means that function that I just graphed here, I'm going to take its anchor point, the 0, the kind of the center, and know now that the center is 2, 0. That's where I start. I know that the cubic function has a pattern where I go 1 over and 1 up, or in this case, 1 over 1 up, and 1 over 1 down, since it's reflected over the x-axis. Then when I go 2 out from the center, I go 8 up. So that's going to be, let's see, that should be, this is not to scale, but that's 0, 8. And then if I go 2 to the right and 8 down, that's going to be 4, negative 8. So before I even put it on the graph, I know 5 of my points. I know where the action is going to happen. Looks like I'm going to be mostly in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. So that's how you can use this grid and kind of make it so that your function is nicely centered. So let's see. I'm just going to choose to put my axis a little bit off to the left, the origin. I put the point 2, 0. It's going to be 3, 1, and 1, 1, 0, 8, 2, 4, 6, just enough, and 4, negative 8, 2, 4, 6, negative 8. That looks symmetric. I put my points in, and I can finish off by saying K of x equals, do I have enough space here? Negative x minus 2 cubed. And put a little arrow. Now, if you're want to do the more of a table pattern approach, here's how you do that. Analysis is the same. You know that that's a cubic. You know it's reflected over x-axis and then 2 right. So I'm going to make a grid of my cubic important points. Let's say IMP for, and then PTS, and I'm going to say 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 8, and then negative 1, negative 1, and negative 2, negative 8. And then go through those two transformations that are happening and adjust the points accordingly. To reflect over the x-axis, means that I'm going to change the y-coordinate. So what used to be x, y in the first column is now x, negative y. So here I go changing all the the y-coordinates. 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 2, negative 8, negative 1, 1, and negative 2, 8. They've been flipped, reversed, just the y-coordinates. And now 2 right means I'm taking whatever the coordinates were before and going 2 to the right, meaning I'm adding x plus 2. and keeping the y's the same. Now I know I need to check with Ms. Shortell and Mr. Stewart on how you're kind of keeping these organized. I'm just pretending like I'm going to take the x-coordinate and add 2 to what I saw before in the previous column. So that's, and keep the y the same. 2, 0, 3, negative 1, 4, negative 8, 1, 1, and 0, 8. Those are the points that I will now put in the graph. 2, 0, 3, negative 1, and 4, negative 8. Thankfully, they match up. Table patterns are another surefire way to make sure that you go systematically through the transformations that are happening and then adjust the points in order so that you get the points you need.